You might look at the charts for the first time ever and see one of these and think to yourself, what am I even looking at? How do people read price using whatever this is? And in this video, I'm here to explain that to you in the simplest way possible so that you can begin your journey in day trading. This is a full guide on candlestick anatomy, how to read candles, what info they tell us, and how we can use that in our trading. Okay, so first thing that we're going to want to do is, first of all, when you open up TradingView, you're going to see something like this. And if you guys are used to seeing like a stock on the charts, you're probably used to seeing this. This is a line chart. And what does it tell us? It tells us movements of price, which is exactly what a candlestick chart also does, just in a different way. And it sort of gives us more information that a line chart couldn't give us. So first thing we got to do is I'm going to draw out a candlestick right here. Alright, so before I break down what's in front of you, I just need to say a few things. So obviously, as you guys know, price moves up or down. And we actually have terms for price moving up and down. So whenever price moves up, we call that bullish. And then whenever price moves down, we call it bearish. And these are very important terms to know because we're going to be using them a lot in the future. So write down, bullish is when markets are going up, bearish is when markets are going down. So using these terms, this is exactly what a candlestick tells us. The definition for a candlestick is a piece of data, and it tells us how much price has moved and where it has moved in a specific time frame. So it literally just gives us all the information we need within a specific amount of time. And you might mean, okay, what do you mean by time? And that's what I'm going to get into right now. So to understand what I mean by that, we need to go through the anatomy of a candlestick. And there are 4 key things that make up a candlestick. There is a open, there is a high, there's a low, and then there's a close. So what that means is, for example, let's say this candlestick right here, we are on the 1 minute time frame. And if you guys did not hear me mention time frames, go watch the TradingView Basics video. But these time frames, they just show us a candlestick that formed within a certain amount of time. So for example, 5 minute. Let's say this is a 5-minute candlestick. This candle will show us where price has opened in the start of that 5-minute period, where it has closed at the end of that 5-minute period, the highest point in price within that 5-minute period, and the lowest point in price within that 5-minute period. So if we have a bullish candle, we clearly are going up during that candle. So that means that we had to open here. This is our open within that 5 minutes. And then the lowest point in that 5 minutes where we were is this wick right here. These are called wicks. So this is the low because this is the lowest point in price. Price went all the way up here, but within that 5-minute period, we didn't close up here. We actually closed here. So this would be considered a high because we didn't manage to fully end with price here at the end of that 5-minute period, but we ended here. So this is our close right here. And this is a bullish candle because during this candle, what did we do? We went up. We did not go down. And then let's move on to our bearish candle. So for a bearish candle, again, it is the same exact information. The wicks tell us the high and the low, and the bodies tell us the open and the close. So the highest point where price went during this 5 minutes. Let's say we're on the 1 minute time frame, matter of fact. We'll say we're on the 1 minute. So this is a 1 minute candlestick right here. Within that 1 minute, the highest point in price was up here. So that is our high. This is the highest price went up to. Now, this was a bearish candle, so we had to open at the top of the candle's body rather than the bottom. So we open here. This is our open. Price went all the way down to here, but we did not manage to close here at the end of the 1 minute, but we closed here. So this is our close, and this is the lowest point in price during that minute. So now that we got that out of the way, let's go look at a few more examples on the charts. This is going to be the first time we're reading candlesticks together. So you're going to get used to it. If it looks confusing right now, don't worry. I'm going to try to walk you through as best as possible. Unfortunately, we can't see a candlestick form in real time because markets are closed, but we're going to do our best. So let's zoom into any candlestick here. Let's look at this one. This one right here, matter of fact, I'm going to screenshot it so that we can just have it by itself, isolated. So, what do we notice about this candlestick? Well, it is literally no body, basically. As if you guys zoom in all the way, there's almost zero body, which means that this candlestick actually opened and closed basically at the same place. So right here, this is the open and the close. And what that tells us is, if we look at these highs and lows, this was the highest point in price where we went. Why? Because this left a wick. We did not close up here, we closed down here, but price went up here within that 1 minute. And this is the low. So that tells us, number one, that there's not a decision being made within this 1 minute. There's no more buyers or no more sellers, or there's not one side taking over the other. We're kind of just, we're not making a decision. And that also tells us the open and close, again, same, or basically at the same exact point. So we do not need to worry about marking our open and close. We just need to know about the highs and lows. So let's go over another example. Okay, right here is a nice example, actually. Also gonna take a screenshot of this so that we can isolate it. Boom. So what does this candle tell us? Well, for you, this candlestick would be red. For me, it's black, but since it's red, that means in this minute, we formed a bearish candle because we went down. So what can we see based off of that, knowing that this was a bearish candle? Well, remember, since it's bearish, that means we had to open at the top of the candlestick's body. So that is our open. This wick shows that we went up here during that minute. So that is our high because we managed to reach up there within the minute. Boom. Now, this is our low. And why is that? Because price managed to go all the way down here during the minute, but we did not close there. So we failed to close, so that marks our low. And then where did we actually close? Right here. Why? Because that is the end of the candlestick's body. We formed a bearish candle, meaning that price opened up here, closed here. And that is candlestick anatomy. We'll go over one more example, actually. So I actually want to go over this as an example because you may actually see this a lot. And this is still a candlestick. But you may be asking yourself, well, aren't there supposed to be wicks? As we saw from the first example, how an open and close can basically be at the same place because price went all the way back to where the candlestick opened. This is kind of the opposite scenario. This is when we literally do not form any wicks. Price just cleanly moves up one way. So this is a bullish candle. For you, it would be green. For me, it is white because I set white as bullish. And as you can see, we have no wicks, which means that price opened up here and went all the way up here and closed. So boom. And this is actually called displacement. This is when we get a very aggressive move to one side. We don't set any lows. We don't set any highs. Zero pullbacks from where we open and close. So this just shows that we're aggressively going in one way. And you might actually see this a lot. This is still a candlestick. It just means that there's no wicks. There's no high or low. The open and close is literally the high and low of that candle. So that is all you need to know about candlesticks, and there's not much else to go on about. Just remember that the candlesticks work the same on every single time frame. There's always a high, low, open, and close. High, low, open, close. But what I want you guys to do, again, if you're unfamiliar with this concept, go on the charts and go through as many candlesticks as you can. And then say, okay, where's the open? Where's the close? Where's the high? Where's the low? And just keep doing that until you got it drilled in your brain, because this is literally the most important thing, basically. We're going to be looking at these candlesticks every single day. Every time we execute a trade, it's based off of these candlesticks. So just get used to being able to read candlesticks, and that's all for the lecture. So just make sure that you can be able to identify candlesticks and practice. So I'll see you guys in the next lecture. We should be getting onto some actual concepts.